Thank you very much. Let's stay in New York, where Mr. Bowman is standing by and ready for his 5 minutes. He is recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the witnesses for being here. I want to start by saying that I went to public schools my entire life, and I received an excellent education in my public schools, and now I'm sitting here as a member of Congress after beating a 31-year incumbent in 2020 without taking any corporate back money. So that's pretty impressive, I would say. So I just wanted to add that for the record. Dr. Burke, you mentioned that New York City schools spend how much per student?
So it just came out, $38,000, north of $38,000.
$38,000, and that's based on what year's data?
Most recent available data. So the
From
past
which year?
2021, 2022.
So 2021, 2022, yes. Correct. This is the same time where New York State received American Rescue Plan money. Yes. It's the same time where New York State received CARES Act money. Sure. It's the first time that New York State has been funded by the Campaign for Fiscal Equity, a lawsuit that they won 20 years ago that finally is going to be fully funded. So this $38K is the most money ever invested in New York State schools. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is correct. Okay. So prior to this influx of money, New York State was not spending $38,000 per student. Do you know how much they were spending?
Still spending among the most, if not the most.
Do you know how much?
It was north of $30,000.
North of $30,000.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have an exact figure. I can get it for you.
Okay, let's say $30,000 for argument's sake. Let me explain student funding and student spending to those in the room who may not understand how it works. It is not $38,000 for every single child in the school system. When you have a school system that has a disproportionate number of children with special needs and a disproportionate number of English language learners, the school system receives additional funding for those students. Is that correct, Dr. Burke?
That is correct.
That's correct. So because New York City has a disproportionate number of children with special needs and a disproportionate number of English language learners, New York City receives additional funding. So when I was a school principal, I had 250 students. If I had $38K per student, my budget would have been $8 million. It was never anywhere near that because I did not have a large number of children with special needs. In addition, this money is not per student in terms of we're giving students the money. This money is spent on teachers, staff, books, and different things like that. And if you are a child with special needs or a child that's an English language learner, you need additional resources to make sure you are meeting your academic needs. Now, Dr. Burke, is it true that charter schools, by and large, take and receive less children with special needs than public schools?
No, and in fact, if you look at not only charters, but private school choice programs in particular, the fastest growing private school choice programs are for those kids with special needs.
Are you familiar with Success Academy in
Yes.
New York City? Does Success Academy take the same percentage of special ed students that public schools take?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
I don't know the
They
percentages.
don't. I could tell you that. They do not.
I can't tell you if they do or don't. I don't have the
I'm saying for the
percentages off
record,
top
and
of my
anyone
head.
can look this up, Success Academy does not take the same percentage of children with special needs as New York City public schools. I have a few other questions. Mr. Messer, how you doing? Do you support teachers' unions? Yes or no?
Teachers' unions never supported me.
Do you support teachers' unions? Yes or no?
Teachers' unions never supported me.
Okay, so is that a no?
Teachers'
Yes or no,
unions
do you
never
support
supported me.
teachers' unions?
I don't have a yes or no answer to that.
I'm sorry?
I don't have a yes or no answer to that.
Okay,
They
Dr.
didn't
Burke,
support
do you
me.
support teachers' unions?
No.
No. Mr. Black, do you support teachers' unions?
I have no objection to them, but I don't donate any money to them.
Yes or no?
I support their mission, but I don't support them in any individual capacity.
Ms. Allen, do you support teachers' unions?
No.
No, you do not. Okay, so we have 3 of the 4 people have identified themselves as people who do not support teachers' unions. It feels to me that this support of voucher programs to move students out of public schools into private and or charter schools is a direct attack on the public school institution and infrastructure, and specifically on teachers' unions, as 3 of the 4 witnesses we have do not support teachers' unions. Let me ask another quick question, starting with Mr. Messer. Do you support the U.S. Department of Education, or do you think it should be dissolved?
When I was
Dr. Burke, do you support the Department of Education, U.S.?
No, dissolve it.
Okay. Ms. Allen, do you support the U.S. Department of Education?
I worked at the U.S. Department of Education for 2 years, saw...
So yes, you do.
I worked at the U.S. Department of Education
So
for
no,
2
you
years.
don't.
I
So
worked
yes or
there.
no?
I worked
you
at the
support
US
it or not?
Department of I'd rather not answer that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. My time is up. I yield back.